Imagine trying to parallel park a 1,000 horsepower monster truck. That is usually what it feels like trying to use a massive, high-powered audio amplifier in a modern smart home setup. You get all the brute force, but absolutely zero finesse.
Yeah, it's historically been this very rigid trade-off. We've been conditioned to expect the heavy lifters in our audio racks to be, well, a bit dumb.
Right, exactly. But today's deep dive is tailored specifically for you, the listener, because we are unpacking a major exception to that rule. We're looking at the AudioSource AMP210VS analog amplifier from HDTVSupply.
And our mission today is really to see how this unit manages to balance that heavy-hitting raw power with some surprisingly clever features for your home or commercial setup. It's just a fascinating piece of hardware.
Because you don't have to choose between brains or brawn here.
Yeah, right?
Let's unpack the brawn first by looking at the raw numbers.
Yeah.
Out of the box, this amp pushes 100 watts per channel into 8 ohms.
Yep, and if you drop that to 4 ohms, you're bumping up to 125 watts per channel.
Which I assume is just basic physics, right? Like, less electrical resistance at 4 ohms means the amp can just push more current through to the speakers.
Precisely. It allows the power to flow more freely. But, what makes those numbers actually impressive is the underlying architecture. The AMP210VS uses a high-current Class AB amplifier design.
Okay, wait. Which means what exactly for the person actually listening to it?
Well, think of Class AB as the Goldilocks zone of amplifiers. It combines the crystal-clear, distortion-free sound of a Class A amp with the running efficiency of a Class B amp.
Oh, so it doesn't just overheat when you push it really hard.
Exactly. You aren't just getting loud volume, you're getting highly reliable, clean power.
And here is where it gets really interesting to me. If you need even more power, you can bridge this amp into a single 8-ohm load, and suddenly it hits 250 watts. Is bridging basically like taking 2 smaller car engines and strapping them together to power one massive wheel?
That is a perfect analogy, yeah. Bridging essentially collapses the stereo separation. So you can dump all 250 watts of that clean power into, say, a single power-hungry subwoofer.
Wow.
Yeah, whether you use it as the primary engine for your main room or a dedicated second zone amp, it has the muscle to drive your system without breaking a sweat.
Okay, so we've got the muscle, but power is kind of useless without control.
Yeah.
If I have a TV and a music streamer hooked up, how does the amp know which signal gets the green light?
Right, so looking at the back panel, it has 2 inputs, a main and an interrupt input.
I'm assuming that means it physically prioritizes one over the other, like a traffic cop?
It does, and this is where we transition into the smart features. The amp allows for automatic source switching right out of the box. So if your main audio is playing and a signal comes through that secondary interrupt line, it just automatically switches over.
Wait, hold on. If it automatically switches sources when the music stops, what happens if I'm listening to a song with a long, dramatic pause?
Ah, the classic switcher problem.
Right, like a classical piece or a live recording. Will the amp just get confused, think the song is over, and hijack my audio?
You would think so, but AudioSource actually accounted for this. They included an adjustable delay feature.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can physically tell the amp to wait a specific amount of time before deciding the track is actually over, so it won't accidentally switch sources during a pause in the music.
That is incredibly smart.
It is. And to make it even more seamless, it has a signal sensing power on mode. It wakes itself up from standby the exact millisecond the music starts.
Okay, so now that we know it can aggressively switch sources and blast up to 250 watts, my immediate worry is just accidentally blowing out my speakers.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely would do that the first time I had friends over.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because they actually idiot-proofed this thing.
Thank goodness. How so?
They built in a rear panel master volume feature. It allows the person installing it to set a hard, absolute maximum volume limit.
Oh, so no matter what someone does with the front knobs, the amp just will not exceed that set limit.
Exactly. It prevents catastrophic damage to your speakers.
That master volume limit is exactly why this feels commercial grade.
Yeah.
Like, if you install this in a sports bar, you don't want a rogue bartender turning the dial to 11 and blowing out your patio speakers.
Definitely not. And getting that kind of bulletproof reliability usually costs thousands, but this is sitting at $589.
With free USA shipping, by the way.
Right. The value proposition is hard to ignore, especially with how adaptable it is for installers. Like, it has speaker-level input, so you can integrate it into an older system, even if you don't have standard RCA cables.
Plus, I noticed there's a loop output on the mainline input. That's a huge time saver. You can daisy chain the exact same audio signal into a second amp without a messy web of splitters behind your AV rack,
Exactly. And it comes with a 2-year authorized warranty.
which you can actually upgrade to a 3-year warranty for just $50. Not a bad insurance policy at all,
Not at all. It gives you a lot of peace of mind.
for sure. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you, the listener, with something to ponder. We talked about that automatic interrupt switching feature earlier.
The one for the secondary input. Yeah.
Right. So how could you creatively wire this into your current setup? Could you link that secondary input to, like, a smart home alert system?
Oh, so it automatically overrides your music when the doorbell rings.
Exactly. It overrides the music with a chime and then seamlessly goes back to the song. It really makes you rethink what a supposedly dumb amplifier can actually do.